You are listening to Lone Star Community Radio on 104.5 KCZWLP Conroe and 106.1 KZCCLP Conroe and worldwide on irlonestar.com.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. This is the Extension Hour on Lone Star Radio. My name is Caroline Cruz, and I am a County Extension Agent here in Montgomery County. I work for Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service. I am, like I said, I'm a County Extension Agent, and my job mainly is working with the 4-H youth program here in the county. And thanks again for joining in and listening. Today we have some local Montgomery County 4-H members here on the show. Everybody say hi real quick.
Hi.
And so I have 3 members here with me today joining in. And so what we're going to do during the extension hour today, we're just going to talk to you a little bit about the 4-H program here in Montgomery County and some of the really cool activities that we have going on. Some things that we kind of just wrapped up, and some things that are coming up in the summer, and things to look forward for the next upcoming year in 4-H. And so joining me, we have Sydney. Say hi, Sydney. And we have Dean.
Hey.
And we have Kayla.
Hello.
All right, so we're just going to kind of do some little introductions first and meet everybody that we have today. So I'd like to know what 4-H club that you guys are a member of, how many years that you've been in 4-H as a member, and tell us maybe what one of your top 4-H projects are that you participate in, and we'll talk a little bit more about what a project is and kind of explain that. Kayla, would you like to start off?
Yes, ma'am, I will. Hi, I'm Kayla. I've been in 4-H for 7 years. I belong to the Montgomery County 4-H Dog Club, and my head project is the Dog Project, which I have done all 7 years of my 4-H experience. I have shown 2 labs, and I'm presently showing a lab and a Border Collie mix.
Very good. What grade are you going to be going into next year?
I will be a 10th grader.
Awesome. All right, Dean, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay then, well, I've been in 4-H for 3 years now, and I'm from the Montgomery County 4-H Horsemanship Club. My main 4-H project was my horsemanship project, which I've been doing ever since I was 3 years old.
Very good. What grade are you going to be in next year?
Next year I will be in 6th grade.
So we have a 10th grader and a 6th grader so far.
Yes,
All right, Miss Sydney.
Hi, my name is Sydney. I am in going into 11th grade. I'm a part of the Best Friends Dog Club with Kayla, and it is going on to be my 9th year in 4-H, and yeah.
Very good. Tell us, you guys kind of mentioned a little bit briefly about your project. So when the members are talking about the project that they're a part of, 4-H is a youth development program, and it's a club-based program. Here in Montgomery County, we actually have one of the largest 4-H programs in the whole state of Texas. So we have over 1,000 4-H members here in Montgomery County, about 1,034 members to be exact. And we have over 20 different 4-H clubs that are within Montgomery County. So Dean mentioned that he is in the Horsemanship Club. So that's a county-wide club, and that club, the members in that club mainly focus on the horse project. Kayla and Sydney mentioned that they are in our Montgomery County 4-H Dog Club. So one of the main focuses in that club is the dog project. So in 4-H, we have over 40 different projects that members can participate in or learn about. A lot of our members have different projects that they do. So like Dean, he's in the horse club, but he also does other projects as well. Just like Kayla and Sydney, they're in the dog club, but they do other projects as well. And those projects vary from, like what we've already mentioned, horse and dog. We also have things like food and nutrition as a project. We also have clothing and textiles or fashion as a project. Photography is one of the biggest projects in 4-H that members can participate in. We have science, engineering, and technology. We have robotics. We have all kinds of different livestock projects. Dog care is one of the projects that Sydney and Kayla participate with. So it's just a wide range of things that you can do. So, Kayla, can you tell us a little bit more about some of the projects that you do in 4 H?
Well, besides the dog project, I do the photography project. I do food and nutrition, and that includes food challenge, which is a team-based competition where we make a dish and present it to judges. I also do clothing and textiles. Like Miss Caroline said, I do fashion. So fashion show, show off an outfit. Also Does to Dazzle, which is another team competition where you take an item of clothing and you turn it into something new. And then I also do community service project and the leadership project and the STEM project, which I participate in with my Science Fair posters.
So, as you can hear, those are a lot of different projects that just one person can participate. There's not really a limit on the things that you can do. It's obviously how much time that you can dedicate to those projects on top of your schoolwork and everything else that you have going on. So you can kind of be as involved as you want. And it's also a great way to explore some things that you may want to take a little bit further the year after that. So, Sydney, what are some of the other projects that you're doing in 4 H?
Well, I'm basically a part of the same ones as Kayla, photography, clothing, and textiles, and my main one is food nutrition. Me and Kayla practice like every Sunday for food nutrition for food challenge, and we just recently went to D9, the District 9 Roundup, and we ended up placing second, so that took us to state roundup, and then there we got seventh. So that's like our main thing. And then I used to be a part of the dog club. Well, I still am part of the dog club, but the dog project. My brother took my dog and is now training him, but at the beginning I was involved in that, but not as much now. But yeah.
Very good. Dean, do you want to tell us a little bit about some of the things that you do?
Yes. Well, one of a big one that I do is the Special Angels Rodeo, and the Special Angels Rodeo is where kids that have special needs can go and have a great day going to a rodeo and roping, going on hay rides, and even riding horses. And last year we had 50 people, but the year before we had 25. So we improved on that. And I hope to improve and get more of this next year too. And another project that I do is my dog project. And I've been working on that for about a quarter of a year with my puppy named Ruby. And she's very cute to work with. And I've been teaching her how to sit and how to play fetch a little bit and having a good time with her.
Good. Well, you've got some other 4-Hers right here that are pretty involved in the dog project, so I'm sure they'd be glad to advise you on that too.
I'm sure.
Very good. What breed of dog is Ruby?
Well, she's an Australian Shepherd.
Very cool. They're smiling over here. In case you can't see that, they're excited to hear about the dog. Well, that's really good. You mentioned the Special Angels Rodeo. Something else that's cool about that is that it's free.
Yeah.
Right? It's free for participants, and they can be not just Montgomery County, but they could be kind of anywhere that they're willing to travel to Montgomery County to do that. Is that right?
Exactly, yes.
Mm-hmm. What are some of the events at that rodeo that the members can participate in, or that the young people can participate in?
Well, for starters, there's a bouncy house where they can go and bounce around, and a little bucking arena where one person bucks the kid, where they can go up and down, kind of like a horse saw thing, you know. And then there's also a hay ride where they can do a relaxing ride, but at the same time, there's another ride where they can, if they like to go real fast, they can go faster with a four-wheeler pulling them. And there's also roping too, where we can teach them how to rope and how to make them pretty good at it.
That sounds like a lot of things that people can do.
Yeah, that's only half the things that they can do.
Mm-hmm. Really good. All right. And with that usually happens in February?
Yeah. Usually around like February, March, somewhere around there.
So this next one will be the 3rd annual, because we've had 2 so far. So it's gotten pretty, a lot of momentum. Like you said, you doubled the participants in just 1 year.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's very volunteer driven. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
It takes a lot of volunteers to pull that off too.
A lot. Yeah.
What are some of the things, if someone wanted to volunteer, can a young person, like a 4-H member, volunteer to help?
Well, sure. We need all the help we can get, and as long as they're willing to help a kid in need around the place all day, then they're welcome to come.
Very good. So we'll look forward to that, and as the plans come together and we have the date for that, we'll definitely make sure to share that with the community, because not only can you use volunteers for that, but you really need more participants to come out and enjoy the day.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, so we'll make sure that we get the word out there for that, because it's a really cool event and for a really special purpose. So we're glad that 4-H is able to be involved in that. Okay, well, we'll be back in just a few minutes on the Extension Hour on Lone Star Radio.
Hey, Lone Star Country listeners, it's your girl Meredith, and we're starting a new tradition on Monday nights from 7 to 9 p.m. That's right, your Monday nights will never be the same. Be sure to tune in for some great country hits and the classics we love, only on Conroe's FM 104.5 and 106.1, and online at irlonestar.com. That's Lone Star Country Nights on Monday nights from 7 to 9 p.m.
A Lone Star Community Radio is ready for the summer. If you or anyone you know is looking for summer internship opportunities, a Lone Star Community Radio is a great place to grab the mic and be on the air. A Lone Star Community Radio offers a great opportunity to those interested in learning about the radio world all year round. Be an on-air personality, talk show producer, or YouTube, TV, podcast editor. Contact the station at info@irlonestar.com or call the station's message line at 936-647-3776.
Hi, thanks for joining us today on the Extension Hour on Lone Star Radio. My name is Caroline Cruz. I'm a county extension agent here in Montgomery County. I forgot to mention earlier, if you are interested in the Montgomery County 4-H program, you can always give us a call at the office. The phone number is 936-539-7823, extension 3. You can also find us online at AgriLife, AgriLife.org/Montgomery 4-H. And we're always there for questions and answers. Just briefly, the 4-H program is a youth program. To be a member, members are in the 3rd grade all the way through 12th graders in high school. It's, like I mentioned a little bit earlier, we have over 20 different 4-H clubs that you can choose from within the county. There are some that are project-based clubs, like we have some members here today. Say hi again.
Hello.
Hi.
And they are in the horsemanship club and also in our dog club. We also have, as far as project clubs, we have a shooting sports club. We have just a couple of different ones that are a little bit more focused and some countywide projects, but then we have clubs that kind of focus on a little bit of everything. Basically, whatever the members are interested in, what projects they want to participate in. But like I said, we have over 20 clubs throughout the county, so there's definitely something for everyone. We have Sydney.
Hi.
We've got Dean.
Hey.
And we have Kayla.
Hello.
And these are 4-H members here in Montgomery County. They're also county council officers. We're going to talk about that a little bit later in the show. What we want to talk to you a little bit right now are about some of the competitions and contests that members can participate in 4-H. So throughout the year, these members are working on their projects, just different things that they are interested in and that they're working towards, that they're learning knowledge and skills about a specific project. And then maybe towards the end of the year, one of the big things that they can do kind of as a end of the year activity is compete in a contest that's related to that project. So in 4-H, we have something that's called Roundup. And Roundup is where we have our different competitions and contests. The way how we do that here, we kind of combine the contests that they can compete in or participate in over a couple of days. So it's kind of like a conference of members coming together with all different kinds of competitions that they can participate in. So we just finished up our 4-H Roundup season. We had our district 4-H Roundup last month, and we just finished our state 4-H Roundup actually last week. And that was in College Station on the campus of Texas A&M University. So what we're going to talk about are a few of the more specific contests that we can do in Roundup. Now, Kayla and Sydney mentioned a little bit about something called the Food Challenge. And the Food Challenge is a contest that members that are participating in the Food and Nutrition Project can choose to compete in. The cool thing about Food Challenge is that this one is a team contest. So on your team, how many team members did you have in your team?
We had 3, but you can have up to 5.
Right. You can have up to 5 people to make up a team. What was your team name?
Doggone good, because we're the dog club, and so we wanted to pay tribute to that.
Right, so that was their name. They get to come up with their own unique name for their team for the contest. And if you've ever seen something like Iron Chef or Chopped, those kind of shows that are on TV, that's basically kind of what the Food Challenge is, but it's for kids. So they have, like she mentioned, a team of 3 to 5 people. The neat thing is that they don't know the ingredients that they're going to get until you show up at the contest and we say go. You have 40 minutes to come up with a recipe, and then you cook whatever it is that your team has decided to make. And you have to do that all within just 40 minutes. So when you guys go to the contest, what do you bring with you as a team? The supplies that you have, right?
Yes, we have like a box of supplies that, well, really Kayla's mom packed for us because she was the leader of our project. So she made like 2 boxes because we had 2 groups, well, 2 teams really. And so you just go in with that, and that's about it, and just each other, and then you take out everything, and we just talk it out.
When you guys went to the contest, we actually at State Roundup, we had 2 Montgomery County teams that were able to represent us there. And mind you, this is competing with 4-H members across the whole state of Texas. What category of food did you guys have when you went to the state contest?
We had bread and cereal.
So what were the ingredients? So when just to kind of give you an idea, when they show up to this contest, there's a bag on the table, a brown grocery bag that has the ingredients in, and mind you, they don't know what they're getting ahead of time. So they open that bag, they have a couple of minutes to figure it out as a team, and then they have to get going and get started. So what did you guys have in your bag?
We had some noodles, and then we had various vegetables. We had a bell pepper, we had some carrots, and then we had a couple cans of beans. We had garbanzo beans and kidney beans.
And then we had the pantry, and we ended up getting some parsley out of there to add to the dish. But
the members have access to a pantry that's just some additional items that they can go and pick things to add to their dish. So what did you guys make?
We made a pasta salad. So we cut up the bell peppers and the carrots and the beans, and we put that all in a skillet, and we cooked it down, and then we boiled the noodles, and we combined that in a bowl, topped it with a little bit of parsley just to give it a little bit of color.
Mm-hmm. So you cook this, so they have, as one of their items that they have, they can either take a hot plate, like a burner that you can plug in, or an electric skillet. So this takes place, if you've ever been on the campus of A&M, or just think about an arena. So it's at Reed Arena, on the floor of the arena, and there's all these teams with tables, and they all have their little burner or skillet plugged in, and so they're cooking on the floor of the arena. And it's really cool because it's an arena, so you can sit in the stands and watch. So whenever we're at other contests, we're usually in a closed room and people can't see. But here, like their families, their friends, people that are cheering them on can kind of watch from the stands and see what they're doing, kind of from afar, but you still kind of get a bird's eye view of what's going on at that contest. So you guys ended up, after you do your cooking, what happens after that part?
They say time's up, and then you just have to turn around, you can't touch the table, obviously, because just in case. And then you go in for an interview process, and so you have to go between your teammates. You divide out. There's food and safety, or no, just kidding. There's steps and safety. There's nutrition. Kayla, what else is there? I forgot.
There's costs and there's my plate.
So you answer all that. You give what is called your presentation, and then after that, they ask any additional questions. Either like if you forgot to add it in your presentation, then they'll ask you about it, or just additional stuff like how can you make it healthier and stuff like that. And then after that, you just go and wait for your placings.
So again, this all takes place in 40 minutes, where they have to come up with the presentation, what they just mentioned, and give that to a panel of judges. So what placing did you guys end up getting?
We got 7th out of 12, and that was just in our category. There were, I believe there were close to 50 teams total.
In our category, we had 12 different teams, and only 10 of them placed, so it was really cool to just think that we were 7th in the entire state.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a lot to be proud of.
It was really tough competition there.
Oh, yeah,
Everyone
definitely.
practiced really hard, and if you're at state roundup, you're the best of the best. So just to be there was a great experience.
Definitely.
And like I mentioned, we also had another team from Montgomery County that was there in the food challenge. They competed in a different category than you guys did. So they ended up getting 5th place in their category. And that's a team that's been going to state roundup for food challenge for a couple of years too. So that was really neat to have 2 teams from Montgomery County there and do that. When we come back in a few minutes, there's another contest I know that you guys did. That's also another team contest that we're going to talk about. So we'll be right back in a few minutes on the Extension Hour.
La 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 la. Oh, Grandma, what big ears you have.
All the better to hear the Cindy Cochran Show with, my dear.
Monday through Friday mornings, 10 a.m. to 11, exclusively on Conroe's FM 104.5 and 106.1. Simulcast globally on irlonestar.com.
Listen, if you dare, to Real Reality Radio, the Cindy Cochran Show.
A Lone Star Community Radio is ready for the summer. If you or anyone you know is looking for summer internship opportunities, a Lone Star Community Radio is a great place to grab the mic and be on the air. A Lone Star Community Radio offers a great opportunity to those interested in learning about the radio world all year round. Be an on-air personality, talk show producer, or YouTube, TV, podcast editor. Contact the station at info@irlonestar.com or call the station's message line at 936-647-3776.
Welcome back to the Extension Hour on Lone Star Radio. My name is Caroline, and I'm joined by some Montgomery County 4-H members here in the studio today. We have Dean.
Here.
We have Sydney.
Hi.
And we also have Kayla.
Hello.
All right, thanks for joining back on this Friday afternoon. Again, if you ever have any questions about Montgomery County Extension or about the 4-H program here in your county, you can always give us a call. Our number is 936-539-7823, extension 3. You can also find us online at our county website. It's AgriLife, agriLife.org/Montgomery4H. Okay, so we were talking a little bit about some of the contests and competitions that our members just wrapped up and participated in last week at our state 4-H roundup. So Kayla and Sydney here did the food challenge. They also did another team contest called Duds to Dazzle. Can you tell us a little bit about what that contest is?
Well, you're given a category, first of all, for your clothing article that you make, and then you walk into the room and they give you an article of clothing and you have to turn it into something new. Like at Roundup, we were given a men's button-down t-shirt and a tie. We had to make that into something wearable. We also had to make it fashion forward and make it something that would apply to maybe someone our age, maybe a different personnel as the men's shirt.
Very cool. So it's when we talked about the food challenge, you have supplies, cooking supplies you took. So for this other contest that's more clothing related, what are some of the things that you take with you?
Well, we take pins, hand sewing needles, we take a cutting board, an ironing board, we take a sewing machine so we can sew, we have rotary cutter, scissors, basically all the basic supplies that a seamstress would need to create something.
But we have a box with all that in, just like food challenge. Just like the only thing, it's just different, obviously, like for the supplies. And then we also have the sewing machines, like the main thing that we have.
And a difference in this one is that you have 60 minutes. Is that right? So what they are given, like what she just mentioned, they're given a piece of clothing. It could be like what she said, they had a button-down men's a long sleeve shirt. They could maybe given like an old pair of blue jeans, maybe an old t-shirt. It could even be something that's not an article of clothing. It could be fabric. It could be an old pillowcase, a sheet, a shower curtain, just anything that could possibly be remade. One of the purposes of that contest is kind of upcycling and recycling, and how you can take something old and turn it into something new, and that you get to be creative as a team. So this is a team contest. How many people were on your team this year?
This year we had 4 people, and like food challenge, you can have 3 to 5 members on your team.
Okay. So what did you end up making again?
So we were given a story, and in our story, Julie, the girl in the story, was going to a party. And we were supposed to make something for Julie. Since we're a dog club, we wanted to do something dog related, so we decided to make a dog skirt for her, maybe a Chihuahua or Poodle that she might bring along to this party.
Very cool. So y'all ended up making a skirt?
Yes.
Cool. And we also had, we had another team as well participate in Duds to Dazzle, and it actually was the same team that competed in Food Challenge also. So you guys competed in both those, and another club competed in both. That group, they placed 4th place at the state competition, which is really good. So that was pretty neat that they did that as well. Dean, you've participated in Roundup before. What is one of the things that you did last year? Do you remember what that entry was?
Entry? Well, I entered the poem for the thing, and it was pretty cool to experience how to like be judged a little bit on how you do at the same time on a time limit, and just enjoy it.
So what Dean did, he entered a competition. The category that he was in was called Poetry and Prose.
Yes.
So like he said, he got to recite a poem for his entry. So that's what he did. Did you also do the vocal category at one time?
Yeah, I think that was like in 2015, where I sang a little bit. Like the song was called "That's What Friends Are For," but I didn't really make it into the thing. But it was still a good experience.
And your sister did vocal as well too this year. She sang and she placed 6th place at state roundup this year. So remember, that's out of the whole state of Texas. So that's pretty neat. I have a little bit of a brief rundown. And Kayla here, she also entered the science poster contest at state roundup, which is basically, if you've done a science fair project for school before, it's pretty much the same thing. So you have your research that you're doing. You create a poster just like you would do at school, your board. You have your science journal that you're taking all the notes for your whole process, your experiment, your hypothesis. Tell us a little bit about what you entered for that.
I did a project based on city life and water pollution, and I was basically testing to see if tourism and population of a city affects the water pollution. So I tested 3 water sources near Galveston, and like Ms. Caroline said, put it into a poster, and it was required for school, but I also put it in the 4-H competition. So it was a good way to use my experience and to really practice presenting.
And so Kayla placed 2nd place at this contest. The cool thing about that contest is they have a really good sponsor for that specific contest, and she earned, for her poster, she earned $300 at State 4-H Roundup. So that was pretty neat, and we were really excited for her on that. Some of the other members, we had a first place senior 4-H member, that's a high school age. John, he placed first in archery. His brother Jacob placed second in archery. He's an intermediate. We had Kayla right here. She placed ninth place with her fashion show entry. And we had, let's see here, robotics is another pretty big contest for us. And we had a seventh place team of intermediates. Those are kind of your middle school age members. Our senior team, which are our high school age members, placed 12th place. We also had, like we mentioned, Lauren, that's Dean's sister, and she got 6th place with her vocal with the song that she sang. We had another member named Bethany. She placed 3rd place in her educational presentation, which is public speaking. She gave a presentation on health. We had another member, his name is Seth, and he placed 9th place in his educational presentation, which again is public speaking. We had a team that entered a contest called the Wildlife Challenge, and it's a team, 2 brothers, Cade and Hale, and they placed 2nd place in the whole contest, which was pretty neat. We had another team of younger members in that wildlife contest as well, Max and Kyle, and they placed 2nd place. The other really neat thing that happens at State 4-H Roundup is scholarship presentations. And we had, and the Texas 4-H Scholarship Program is a huge program. Lots of really great sponsors that help with that. And we actually had this year 5 members from Montgomery County 4-H, and they were awarded over $50,000 in scholarships this year. And those are just on the scholarships that they earned at that presentation. So we were super proud of that. So that's kind of some of the things that we did for 4-H Roundup. So if any of those things ever sound kind of interesting to you or something you want to learn about, join 4-H and then you can do those things. Talking a little bit more about contests, Dean, so you participate in the Horse Project.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell us a little bit about things that you do in that project as far as the horse show.
Well, usually what I do is I go to rodeos, and what I do there is ride with my horse and ride around the barrels, poles, straights, and stuff like that. And so far, I've actually won 8 buckles from all sorts of rodeos.
Very good. Are you participating in something coming up soon?
Not at the moment.
What about next week?
I am gonna do the state rodeo, district rodeo.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna ride my horse named Roger, and we're gonna try to win the buckle.
Awesome. So that's going to be at our District 4-H Horse Show.
Yeah.
That's next week in Bryan. So that's really good. Now, Sydney and Kayla, something else you guys do is the State 4-H Dog Show. Is that right?
Yes, it is.
So that's coming up next month in July. Where is that held?
It alternates usually between Montgomery and a place called Belton. This year it'll be in Belton. It's near Temple, and it's in a big convention center. And it's a 3-day dog show, and we just compete in various events.
What are some of the events that you compete in?
The biggest event that most of the dog project members do is agility. It's like an obstacle course for dogs, like in horses where they jump over the jumps. Dogs, it's the same thing. They jump over jumps, they go through tunnels, they weave through poles, they climb over obstacles, and that is the big thing. But there's also other things. There's costume, there's drill, there's tricks. There's also your basic obedience. And a lot of times, if you've ever seen a dog show on TV, when they show the dogs, showmanship and confirmation, that's another thing that we do with our dogs. So the good thing about the dog project is there's something for everyone. Maybe your dog isn't very good at showmanship, or you don't like showing your dog. You can maybe do it in obedience or agility. So there's always something that you can find with your dog to do.
Does someone have to have a purebred dog to do the 4-H dog project?
No, you do not. Actually, my first 2 dogs in the dog project were both mixed breeds, and I have had this Border Collie for 6 years now, and he is a state champion in many events. I have many ribbons. I have a belt buckle with him. You don't have to have a purebred dog for dog shows.
So you can have your just regular run-of-the-mill backyard dog that you may have as a family member at home, or if someone were to adopt a dog, any of those dogs could potentially be at the State 4-H Dog Show.
Yes.
Very good. Sydney, what about you?
Well, I used to do obedience. I did a little bit of agility, but I never went to competition with it. I just trained my dog. I don't know. I did a lot, but the main thing that I've stuck with after I stopped doing like the actual training was costumes. So I would make a costume for me and my dog, and now Casey is doing he's doing obedience, I think maybe showmanship, and then he's been competing in costume, but that's like the main thing I've stuck with.
Very neat. What's the tricks class?
Well, a lot of dogs know basic tricks like speak and roll over, and there's a contest for that. There's a whole list online you can teach your dog, and it's a competition where you pick tricks to show the judges, and based on the number of points you get, they place you. So my dog knows roll over, bang, he can weave between my legs, he can play dead, he can do all sorts of things. Basically, any trick you can teach your dog can be entered in the trick contest.
So when you go to the State Dog Show, about how many Montgomery County members are usually there? Is it a pretty big group?
We usually have the biggest group. This year, usually we have about 20 to 30. This year, it's a little bit smaller, but we usually are the biggest group, and we are the biggest county that does it, and we do a really good showing.
Very good. So we'll look forward to that coming up next year. We'll be back in a few minutes on Lone Star Radio with the Extension Hour.
Hispanic Chamber Connections with Dr. Carlos Sanchez, President of the Woodlands Conroe Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, featuring event announcements, member highlights, and more. Tuesdays at 1 p.m., broadcasting from the heart of Conroe, Texas on irlonestar.com and Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1.
Don't forget to download the Lone Star Community Radio app for your Google Play or Apple Store. Bring Montgomery County's community radio with you anywhere with your smartphone or tablet. If you are in the Conroe area, tune in on FM. That is Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1.
To the Extension Hour on Lone Star Radio. We are going to wrap up our show here today with our last segment. My name is Caroline Cruz. I'm a county extension agent with the 4-H program here in Montgomery County. If you're ever interested in some of these activities and events that we're talking about, you can always call us at our office. It's 936-539-7823, extension 3. And we're joined here today with some of our 4-H members. We have Dean.
Here. Hey.
We have Kayla.
Hello.
And we have Sydney.
Hi.
And so these 3 4-H members are going to tell us a little bit more about something that we do countywide. But really quick, I wanted to ask you guys why you decided to join 4-H. And that may have been a few years ago for some of you, but just think about if you were to tell somebody else, if they were thinking about it, what was your reason for joining?
Well, a lot of my beginning part was word of mouth. My mom had a friend who her son was doing 4-H, and so I joined. But the main reason I'll tell people to join 4-H is you learn a lot of things. You meet a lot of great people. I started with the dog project, but I do so many more projects now. And a lot of things that you may do now that you didn't realize were an actual project, you can do as a project. You can grow on that. It's really fun to go out into the community and teach people about all the different things that they can do within 4-H.
Good. What about you, Sydney?
Well, I was about 8 when I joined, and in 3rd grade, like you said earlier, that's like one of the requirements that you have to be to join 4-H. So my mom heard about it because one of her good friend's sons was in it, and like we really didn't know about it, and a lot of people don't know about it, so that's a good thing. Like we get to promote 4-H all the time. But I started off in Conroe 4-H, and my mom ended up finding the dog club because she knew I was interested in it. But I really joined because there's so many different things that you can do, and especially like when you're 8, you don't know what you want to do. So it's really good because you get to like explore a lot of different areas. Like you said, like there's 20 clubs in the county, so it's like there's so many different things that you could be interested in that you can exercise like your abilities to do. So that's why I joined.
Very good. What about you, Dean?
Well, I've joined 4-H about 3 years ago, and right now I'm in the Montgomery County 4-H Horsemanship Club. And the reason why I joined was to help me myself to try to be a better leader and try to have more responsibilities and try to be focused on people and having like talking like this right now, like talking shows, just trying to work hard and be good.
Awesome. Good stuff, guys. Okay, so something that you all participate in is our Montgomery County 4-H Council. And so what that is, these guys here are members in a 4-H club. So they have their local club that they're a part of. Montgomery County 4-H Council as a county is made up of members from all of the different clubs in the county. So this is more kind of like across the whole county. They can be from any one of the clubs that are here in the county. It's set up very similar to a club. We have an elected officer group. So we have our officer team that gets elected and voted on every year. County Council also helps lead our annual 4-H awards program. They're getting prepared for that. It's going to come up pretty soon in August. And they also host a countywide leadership training for club officers and for the volunteer leaders that help to organize those clubs in the county. So, Dean, tell us what officer position that you've been elected to for this next 4-H year.
Well, I have been elected for first vice in the county council, and the year before that I was second vice, and then my first year, last year I was, sorry, actually I was voted for second vice this year, and last year I was parliamentarian. I was thinking about the other club.
Yeah, because you're an officer in both of the clubs that you're in.
Yes.
What about you guys over here, Kayla?
This is my first year to run for office for county council. I had been to a few meetings, but I really wanted to get more leadership position and get more public speaking. And I was just elected as a publicity officer, so doing things like this, going on radio shows, and just telling the public about what county council and what just 4-H in general is all about.
Okay. Sydney?
Well, I joined county council about 2 years ago, and I really just liked all of like everything that they promote and they're a part of, and like they have a bunch of guest speakers. Like this year we had a bunch with career exploration, so we had people from different jobs get to come and talk to us. So that was really cool this year, but they had a lot of service opportunities, and they still do, and so that's really why I loved being there. And so after my first year of being in there, I ran for secretary for this year, and I ended up getting it, and it's been like an amazing experience. So I told Kayla that she should join and like run for it, and so she did it, and then now I am treasurer. So yeah.
Very good. You talked kind of a little bit in there about leadership. So when you're kind of thinking about leadership, how have you grown as a leader in the past 2 years, Sydney?
Oh, I think definitely just getting up and, well, last year, like I said, I was secretary, so getting up and saying like the minutes each, or what really in calling roll each meeting was it was a really good leadership experience for me, because I don't know, just standing up in front of a crowd is really hard, but it's like a lot of people that are there because they're all part of the same county, and so it was just getting up there, and then like you have your family there too, so it can be really nerve-wracking, but just if you do it every single meeting, like it gets so much easier, and it's definitely like grown my leadership experiences a lot, just getting up and talking in front of people, and being a part of recreation, like leading the little kids. But yeah.
What about you, Kayla?
I'm a very independent person, and 4-H has really helped me to really work as a team. 4-H is all about a team thing. A lot of your events are solo persons, but like in the dog project, it's me and my dog. We're a team. It's not just me. It's not just my dog. And also being a part as an officer. You work as an officer team. You work with the people around you to accomplish a goal. And 4-H has really helped me to grow as a leader and really work with other people and also get some great experiences to help others.
Okay. Let's briefly talk about another big part, which is community service. So, Dean, what is one of your favorite community service projects you do as in your club or maybe at the county?
Well, one of my favorites are, like, when we went down to Tractor Supplies to donate feed for people to buy feed and for us to donate the money to something and to help other people.
Okay. What about you guys?
As a dog club, we go and do something called Responsible Dog Owner Day in Willis. And it's a day where we just teach the citizens of Willis and also the community around them about how to be a responsible dog owner. We set up games, we create maybe toys or activities for them. We also do demonstrations of the different events that we do in 4-H. And it's a really fun way to tell the community about what's going on. And there's also a lot of great organizations there that we can give back to.
And during the meetings, Kayla, she established the, what was it called? What was it? Okay. She was in charge of some of the community service, and I set up the community service committee, but every single meeting, she would have like a jar full of, we would collect coins and just dollar bills and $5 bills, whatever you had, to donate to the food bank, because she found out at the very beginning of the year that the money that you donate counts more. Like, you can buy more food than it would help donating. Not that, like, it isn't a good thing to donate food, but it's just, like, it's a more effective way, I guess, to do it. So we had that, and then the leader came by and she collected it, and she was telling us how thankful she was, and it was a good experience. And she also, for One Day 4-H, Kayla organized a bunch of us to go to the women's shelter and help package gifts for the kids for Christmas that were staying there. And then at the beginning of the year, with the committee, I ended up going to Under River Fellowship here in Conroe, and we just organized the food pantry so that, like, homeless people could just go into there and find what they wanted, because it was really disorganized at first. So it was really good just to see that happen.
Okay, so as you have been listening to us today, I think you can tell that we're growing leaders in 4-H, and so we're super proud of these young people and just the growth that they've had personally and the impact they've had in their community. So our time is almost up. Thank you for joining us today on the Extension Hour on Lone Star Radio. If you're interested in sponsoring a show like the Extension Hour, get in touch here at the radio station. We'd love to talk with you about that. And thank you again so much, and we hope you have a great weekend.
Thanks for checking out this podcast of Lone Star Community Radio, Montgomery County's community radio station. If you enjoyed this recording, make sure to check out our past shows online at irlonestar.com or their respective video or podcast formats on YouTube, Google Play, or iTunes. If you have any questions regarding the show, either it being about sponsorships or questions for the host, contact the station manager at dick@irlonestar.com or call the station at 936-647-3776. This show was recorded in downtown Conroe, Texas at the Lone Star Community Radio Studios, and Lone Star Community Radio reserves all rights to this recording and images.